Welcome to the show.
Hi, well, thank you for having me. Wow, look at this.
Wow, look at this is us looking at you.
Yeah.
That's what the wow, look at this is. Because I never got to tell you this in person. You know, we're all working at the Grammys, but you put on, hands down, one of the greatest live performances human beings have ever witnessed. It was phenomenal. I hope everybody told you this, just like everywhere you went.
Thank you.
Because here's the thing. You're a legend. You've been nominated for countless Grammys. You've won tons of Grammys, but you are a consummate performer. And it feels like every performer wants to perform with you for that reason. You know, everybody from Elton John all the way through to Joni Mitchell, legends go, oh, Brandi Carlile. I'd love to know what that feels like for you.
Well, it all comes from them, you know, it does. And they've sort of taught me through the years pretty much everything I know about performing. And the cool thing with the Grammys is that, you know, it didn't happen to me when I was so young that I wouldn't be able to really seize the moment. I felt really ready for that moment.
Interesting.
And I knew, I was like, man, I'm nearly 40. Like, I've got to do this right now. You know, I've got to take this moment and make it mean something in my life for me and my family. You know, so
you have had, yeah, you have had a journey that many of your fans have said is long overdue. They've gone, why isn't Brandi getting her credit? Why isn't she more successful? We love her so much. The industry has definitely caught up. You know, the world has definitely caught up. But you do talk about this, how you achieved fame a little later than some musicians who were at 16, 17, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that prepared you better for the place that you're in now?
Yeah, I do. I'm really grateful for that, you know, and it's funny, it's like, I mean, it literally is singing for a living, so it's probably the greatest job in the world at whatever level you're at.
Right.
And I think I always felt like I was making it and like I was making an impact. But it's definitely taken a turn, you know, that's that I am emotionally prepared for because I'm old enough to like handle it. But it's happened for some of my heroes too. Bonnie Raitt's career was kind of that way, and she's like somebody I really look up to, just how she's conducted herself throughout her career in life. Yeah.
When you blow up at you know, at a certain stage in art, there's always the balance between maintaining how your fans knew you and loved you,
yeah,
and then catering to the masses who now want to enjoy in the art that you're creating. Do you find that you've been able to create that balance for yourself? Do you still have the intimate Brandi Carlile and then like the giant shows? I
mean, I'm so obsessive. I don't really even know how to cater to the fans that love me, you know? Like, my desires are still so strong to pursue my own heroes. And
I really love that.
My love of entertainment, that I just am like a little too obsessive to be able to see outside of that, to really know how to cater, you know? But not in a way like that I'm saying like, oh, I'm too much of an artist for that.
No,
because
no,
I
no,
care
no.
what people think.
No.
I just don't know how to do it.
That's fascinating, because you know, I think it was David Bowie who said something similar. He said something to the effect of, you know, don't play to the rafters, remember why you started playing, essentially, you know, and it's the idea of creating for yourself, for the joy that you first had, and then that's, you know, I mean, that's essentially why the people became fans. You've got a new album that is out now, and you've done something that few artists would dare to do, and that is you've remade an album that was critically acclaimed, many regarded as one of the more perfect albums. I'd love to know why.
I mean, there can so many different versions of a song that can exist, and when you're an artist, like, they exist in your head whether you get a chance to record them or not, like at any given time. But you've got an album, you've got one shot, that song's going to have one life, and it's going to be heard one way. And I wanted to do this album as a revision of like, well, what would In These Silent Days have sounded like if it was in Laurel Canyon in the early 1970s? Like, what would we do? Would there be 4, 5, 6-part harmony? Would we have strings and lushness and mellotrons and steel guitars? And you know, we just did this. We did this at home, you know, for the love of it, for as a labor of love, because we wanted to hear what our album would sound like in that way. I mean, I still think that In These Silent Days is that's the right thing. That's the album I wanted to make, but I loved making that one.
You tell very personal stories in the album. Some of them feel like they happen to you, or they feel like everyone feels like they happen to them. You know, you connect with people in the storytelling of your music, and yet every time I've seen you talk about your music, it feels like you don't take credit for it, but you give credit to this larger idea of artists who've inspired you and what they've created, and you're part of it. And it's this beautiful, humble attitude that you have about music itself. It's almost like you treat it like it's magic that just comes down and is infused within you. I'd love to know When you talk about mimicking and the artists that inspire you, like how do you see music that maybe other people don't?
Well, I mean, I do see myself as an artist, and I'm proud of myself as a songwriter, and especially as a singer. So it's not like a humble brag or anything, but I am like a fan. Like, so like I'm the kind of fan, like I waited outside your tour bus for an autograph.
I love that.
You know what I mean? Like I kind of knew where you lived. Like I had,
We're going from stalker to
I knew what school you went to, what year you were born. Like I'm that kind of fan. And
but you wouldn't go to the house.
No, I wouldn't go to the house. I would stop short of that.
All right, fan knows
because
the
I didn't get my driver's license until I was 20. But I know artists, like molecularly, I'm interested that goes beyond just music, you know?
Wow.
And so I just never grew out of that, even though it's my job now, and I know there are people that feel that way about me. It doesn't scare me. And I still feel that way about my heroes. They're just kind of letting me hang out with them for some reason. And it's probably the greatest honor of my life. Don't tell my kids.
I really love that. I really love that because it comes across.
Yeah.
And what's amazing is that your heroes are fans of you. One of the most amazing moments people have ever seen in their lives was when Joni Mitchell, one of the greatest of all time, just truly one of the greatest of all time, came out on stage. You surprised people with her performance. Everyone thought Joni wasn't going to perform anymore. You know, we know that she almost lost her life and she's fought to come back. And then here she was on stage performing, and it was with you. I mean, that is history being made. You know, do you ever pinch yourself and go like, I'm part of this?
I still can't believe that happened, and it was just a few months ago, you know. And the fact that it was at Newport Folk Festival, which is such a monumental and historic place. She always has a plan. She knows what she wants to do, even if she doesn't say it. We didn't know she was going to do that. We thought it was a jam. We didn't know that she was going to sing all the leads on those songs. She just started singing. We rehearsed the songs ourselves. And we didn't know whether we should stop or what we should do, you know? So we just sang with her. And then it turns out she completely took over the show and became the performer that we all know that she is.
Yeah.
And I mean, we didn't go to sleep that night. We stayed up till the sun came up, just loving what happened. And Joni flat out loves to perform, and she's awesome at it. She's every good at it, as good at it now as she ever was. Yeah.
So, you know, when those types of moments happen, you know, everyone goes, "Oh, you should have been there. You'll never get to see it again." But I've heard a little whisper that maybe something might happen.
Yeah, we get to talk about this right now. So, after Newport, Joni said, "I want to do another show." She said, "I want to play again." And we got to thinking about it, and we decided on a venue, which is the Gorge, out in Washington State.
No way.
George Washington, the Gorge. Yes, you want to play there? It's one of the most beautiful venues in the world. It's like, it's called Echoes Through the Canyon. I'm going to play the first night. Joni and the Joni Jam are going to play the second night. I'm going to open up. Yep. And it's June 9th and 10th out at the Gorge. Joni Mitchell is going to play. You haven't been able to buy a ticket. No one's been able to buy a ticket to see Joni Mitchell play in 20 years. So this is enormous. And she's so excited because it's close to Canada and some of her Canadian fans.
Right.
So it's just, I can't believe it's happening, but it's happening, and she is going to crush it. So if you can get there, get there.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get the tickets, wow, that's going to be intense. After the break, we're going to have a performance of yours from the new album, and it's interesting because the title of the track really hit home for me. You know, it's You and Me on the Rock, and it reminded me of just like, you know, Bible study with my mom. There's like always like the rock, you know, the foundation that you build, you know, a house on versus the sand. And you grew up in a very religious household, didn't you?
Well, I don't know if it was a household, but I found religion around me. You know, it was kind of in the extremities of my family, and some a bit in my household. And then I sort of found it later on in life in my own way, and it sort of came up with my own way to practice my faith. But the concept of You and Me on the Rock has been with me since I was about 6 years old. You know, going to Sunday school, and singing "Build Your House on a Rock."
I love that you say practice it in my own way. You know, because you've talked a little bit about this, but one of the many aspects of you that makes you so inspiring and phenomenal in many people's eyes is that you've blazed a trail. You know, you grew up, as you say, in a religious environment, you know, and you are proudly gay, you know, and people go, wait, Brandi, but it's religion, and then country music has also had its issues with that, you know, just like some other genres like rap, etc.
Sure, sure.
When you're performing and when you're putting your heart out there and you're putting your life out there, are you doing that as catharsis, or are you doing that to help so many of the other people who've had the journey that you've had in your life?
Definitely both. I can't not do it. I don't know how to not do it. Since, you know, since I can remember, I have to do that. I have to be in front of an audience and create, whether they like it or not, and to exist, you know. But also, I do know how impactful it is because, like I told you, I'm the girl that waits outside your tour bus because I was so impacted. I needed that. Particularly, I needed queer icons as a rural, queer, religious kid. So, you know, when I sing You and Me on the Rock, it's a take on a Sunday school lesson, and I know that, you know, it's about me marrying the love of my life, my wife, Catherine, and having these 2 little girls, and I know that that's not exactly what Sunday school had in mind for me, but I do think it's what God had in mind for me. And
I love that.
That's
I love that. I cannot wait to do this. Thank you so much for joining me on the show. Thank you for being here. I really, really appreciate you. Everybody, Brandi Carlile in the Canyon Haze is available now.